Hello everyone, Josh MC2000 here, and I'm coming back again with another comic that has come out ages ago. You must be thinking, Josh, have you gone mad? Stay current for God's sake. There is a reason for me choosing to cover Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man Noir Eyeless now. There is a new Spider-Man Noir series that's coming out. It's on issue 2 currently, and before reviewing it, I just want to cover these because I do think these are these two comics are kind of the mad ideas you get sometimes when you have someone create a new rendition of an existing character. Like, you know, let's say if someone turned around and says, oh, let's send Spider-Man to, I don't know, Vietnam. That was actually going to be a thing. God, I thought Spider-Man Noir was nuts. Okay. Moving on. So, Spider-Man Noir is a rendition of Peter Parker's Spider-Man that is done in a way that is meant to resemble like the old noir films, like The Killers and stuff like that. It's set in post-World War I, and like some of the later stuff is closer to World War II. Like Eyeless has elements to do with like the Second World War in it. For example, this universe's version of Dr. Octavius is actually a Nazi scientist doing these really unethical experiments on people, which, you know, was actually a really interesting idea when I read it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a cool thing to do with the setting, actually, like, you know, because, you know, if Dr. Octavius was in that setting, of course he'd be a mad scientist working for the Nazis. That just seems to click. That's like, yeah, that works. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you think I've lost my mind, but, you know, that bit of Eyeless was really good. I really enjoyed that part of Eyeless, like the take they did with Octavius, and also can we talk about the Spider-Man Noir design itself for a minute here? Like, this is just like, if you thought of a noir version of Spider-Man, like, you know, of course it's gonna have like, it's gonna be all dark in it, you know, because that's the color palette of noir films, all black and white, very little color. And also, can I just say, the idea to turn Goblin into like this freak show mob boss was really like, so many things with this setting is just like a yes, of course you do that if you turn Spider-Man into a noir setting. This is so clever. But I mean, one of my favourite things is what they did with Black Cat in both books, and when this new series kicks into gear, I'm really interested to see what they do with Black Cat in this new series, Felicia Hardy. The idea of actually making her not Peter's peer, not her like superhero confidant like she is in some of the things, but actually kind of like someone who's older and is kind of like you know, she runs this kind of club, and a lot of the mobsters and that hang about in it. You know, it's not a nice place. Her helping Spider-Man comes back to bite her in the ass in Eyeless. Like, I'm pretty sure if either of you guys have read that, you know what happens to her at the end, and like that is actually kind of like, you know, genuinely felt kind of bad for her after that. Actually, that was horrible. What they did, basically they messed up her face. That was horrible what they did to her in Eyeless. Actually, I need to see if I can find an image of that panel. Speaking of which, I actually had a very hard time finding images for the intro. This new style of intro I've been doing lately with the comic book Carnage stuff, I had a hard time finding images for it. I'm pretty sure one of it is actually a screen grab of Shattered Dimensions, not of the comics themselves. And speaking of which, that was my first exposure to this character, Shattered Dimensions, and I hadn't got a hold of the game. I hadn't got a hold of the comics for a while. It was only when they re-released them about 11 months ago now, when they re-released them. That's when I finally managed to get my hands on them and give them a read, and oh my god, yes. If you can get your hands on this Spider-Man Noir collection, read them. They're so good. it's one of these crazy ideas that you think wouldn't work. Because you think, oh, Spider-Man in a noir setting, that's dumb. Who's going to want to read that? But Muggins here absolutely adores it. It's probably one of my favourite renditions of Spider-Man. My favourite renditions of Spider-Man are Spider-Man Noir and also 2099 Miguel O'Hara, which, you know, I managed to get my hands on some of the old 2099 comics as well, which I'm really happy about. I must admit, the normal Spider-Man is okay. I haven't read much of normal Spider-Man. I like the character, but it's really from other stuff, not so much from the comics. And I've been wanting to get into the comics, but I've been trying to find a decent jumping in point. This problem is with Marvel, it's all like... I mean, this new run that's going on at the moment is meant to be really good. With this current writer, I can't remember his name. The guy that took over after Dan Slott, he's meant to be really good. I want to jump in. I mean, when a new writer comes on, it's normally a good opportunity to jump in, but I missed out because I was still kind of in my, oh, Marvel's a bit of a mess phase. You know, so I, you know, only stuck to like my Punisher stuff and that, and also I didn't pick it up and I didn't read it, and I feel like an idiot for not doing so now. But anyway, Spider-Man Noir, honestly, I'm gonna start doing this thing now. I'm recording a couple of things in batches here, and I'm gonna start knocking them out. And one thing I'm gonna do is a buy, borrow from a friend, or don't touch kind of rating at the end of these now, to kind of summarize my thoughts, because I know I can be a bit of an incoherent mess at times. Yeah, there's nothing coherent about this show. I jump about like a goddamn pinball. Even the subject matter just completely out the window half the time. And so you know, what would I give this Spider-Man Noir Complete collection? And I've got to give it a buy, guys. Seriously, I mean, yeah, it collects the original Spider-Man Noir, which, God, I tried to find just a version of the original Spider-Man Noir secondhand, and it was ridiculous on eBay. I'm not paying that much for it. I'm sorry. I like it, but I wasn't willing to pay that much. And you know, you're talking like Snake Eyes Declassified level of stupid money. If any of you have ever tried to buy a second-hand copy of G.I. Joe Declassified recently, Snake Eyes, you know how much that costs. And yeah, it's that kind of money for it. And I'm just like, oh God, no. Nope, we're not doing that. But then this collection came out, and I'm like, I want it. Literally, it's probably one of the only it's probably one of the only bound things I've brought on day one recently. I don't really go in for the bound stuff so much anymore. It's more for like the older stuff I do the bound stuff for, you know, like Under the Hood, Black Mirror, you know, those kind of things. I mean, I want to get Craven. Speaking of Spider-Man stuff, I want to get Craven's Last Hunt at some point. I definitely want to read that. And, you know, if I get my hands on that, expect a video on Craven's Last Hunt, definitely. Because I've heard some really good things about Craven's Last Hunt. And, you know, so, yeah, definitely go out buy this, because this package, right, not only do you get the original Spider-Man Noir, you also get Eyes Without a Face. I think I called it Eyeless or something stupid earlier in the video. It's Spider-Man Noir Eyes Without a Face, which is the sequel. And then after that, you get some other Spider-Verse stuff kind of mingled in there, which are like some shorts. I've not read those. I brought it primarily just for the Spider-Man Noir stuff. But yeah, it's a decent package for what you get. I'm actually going to put a buy link for it in the description for you guys, actually. Like, seriously, this is... I picked this up and I read it all the way through in one sitting. I I could not put this down. This, like, you know, this was really good, honestly. This is like a, you know, I think it says something. I don't often put a buy link for the comic in the description. So if I do that, it's go buy this. This is good. Do yourself a favor. This is good. Buy it. Buy it. Like, okay, yeah. I get it's a bit more expensive than your normal trade paper, so that's a fair criticism. If you're someone that's on a tight budget, I get it. But, you know, it's... If you, like, if Christmas coming up, right? If you've got some money to spend after Christmas, pick this up. Definitely recommend it. Oh, God, it's September. My birthday and Christmas is coming around again already. Oh, God. Hang on. Excuse me while I have a minor meltdown over the fact that I'm 20 years old this year. Oh, God. Where's it all gone, eh? Where's it all gone? Like, it doesn't seem like 5 minutes I started this whole YouTube lark, and I've been doing this for like, what, 5-6 years now? 7 years! Good God, I've been doing this for 7 years. Struth. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I went to a bit of a incoherent mess there at the end of it, but, you know, you guys kind of know to expect this off me by now. This is kind of my brand of doing things. You know, I do the odd scripted video here and there, but the majority of the time it's just the deranged ramblings of a comic fan, which, to be honest, maybe I should just change that to my channel's new tagline.